New York, some people are saying they're having problems streaming it, so I'm just going to give it a second. Awesome. Let me know if you can see me. Cool. Awesome, guys. Looks like it's much better now. So real quick, I'll just show you basically what a calendar looks like on Airbnb. This is, you can see the nightly stays per person here. So you can see this person, Ryan, they stayed for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, checked out Sunday. This person paid $2,216 for that weekend stay. This person, Heather, stayed for Tuesday and Wednesday, paid $1,080. You can see some of these other stays, $347 for Monday, Tuesday. And then here we have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday for $1,900. So it varies, obviously, depending on the supply and demand of the weekend. But you can see how much money you can make on different days, right? It's crazy. Like again, we have another $2,300 stay, $2,700 stay right here for 1, 2, 3 nights. So pretty cool stuff. So we're going to get started in just a second here. I'm going to be talking about Airbnb and how you can leverage other people's properties to start using Airbnb. Okay, so to give you guys some ideas about what is Airbnb, is it a legit business? If you guys don't know about it, there are 4 million Airbnb listings worldwide, okay? And it's in 65,000 cities, okay? It's pretty crazy. There's 150 million users on Airbnb. So it's a huge company. It's growing. People are using it more and more every single day. So I'll just go ahead and get started in the training now that I think you guys can see my screen and hear me okay. So I'm going to be talking also about how I made $18,872 in 13 days from my very first Airbnb listing, how I was able to quit my job and replace my income for good. All right. So you're probably thinking, that's insane. How does that work? But don't worry. I'll show you guys exactly how that happened in a second here. So again, these are my own personal numbers. I got to give a little earnings disclaimer. It's not necessarily indicative of what you will make, but I'll be sharing everything here. So what you're going to learn on this training is the exact steps that I took to replace my salary using Airbnb while working less than 4 hours a week, basically, on the business. All right. I'm going to show you the exact steps and basically exact types of properties that are going to make you the most money on Airbnb and the types of properties that you should avoid. Okay. I'm going to show you how you can make massive recurring income from Airbnbs with properties that you don't own. And I'm going to show you how you can get a landlord to say, shut up and use my property, and basically why they're not doing this for themselves. I'm going to be talking about all of that. Okay. I'm also going to show you how to handle restrictive leases with no subletting clause, so you can do this risk-free. Okay, probably a lot of you are thinking, like, how is this even possible? You know, obviously, like, that wouldn't work. Most leases don't allow this. You're right. Most leases don't allow this, but I'll talk about exactly the steps you need to do so we can handle those restrictive leases. I'm going to be talking about how to scale up and get multiple listings, okay? Because if you want to be a high earner on Airbnb, you got to have multiple listings. I'm going to show you screenshots, case studies of my own listings, and I'm going to show you success stories from students who are earning big on Airbnb. All right, now, this is me. My name's Mike Xave, and I'm a very serious business professional. You know, I wear a suit all the time. I'm actually wearing one right now. Obviously, I'm just kidding. The truth is, I'm not some fancy business guru or anything like that. I'm a normal guy. I love the outdoors. I love going whitewater rafting, zip lining, and things like that. But to be honest, I struggled with business for a very long time. I spent years trying and failing at almost every single business I started. But then something incredible happened when I stumbled upon this huge opportunity, and that was Airbnb. So believe me, if I can do this, you can do this, because I've literally tried it all. And maybe you can relate. I've tried ebooks. I've tried stock trading. I tried stock trading for like multiple years, never got successful with it. I tried e-commerce, okay? I tried real estate investing. Okay, if you tried any of these things and they didn't work, maybe you can kind of relate to me, right? Or maybe you did try these things and some of it worked and you had some success, but it just wasn't life-changing, you know? So if that's you, then trust me, I know exactly how you feel. I've been there. I've failed before in the past more times than I want to admit. But the truth is, we all fail when we don't have a proven system, okay? So today, I'm going to give you my proven Airbnb system. And if you follow these steps, literally step by step, and you will succeed. It's that simple. This system will hands down be the fastest and easiest way for you to be able to quickly replace your income, okay? And then the coolest part is turn that income on autopilot. So who here wants to learn about that? If you want to learn about that, then pay close attention, because this webinar will literally change your life. All right, so who's this for? Okay, real quick, let me answer this. If you don't have a property, but you're willing to be resourceful and put in the work to become financially free, then this training is for you. If you already have a property, but you want to learn how to make 4 times more than what a regular tenant would pay you, then this training is for you. If you already have an Airbnb, but you want to learn how to maximize your bookings and get more and more listings, then this training is for you, okay? Now, this is also for you if you just want to be able to supplement or replace your income so you can earn 2 to 3 more than what you're currently earning, okay? Because the coolest part about this business is that it's limitless. You can literally just keep getting more and more Airbnbs with the method I'm going to teach you today. Now, if you want to be free of a boss and you're tired of working full-time hours, this training is for you. And if you just need basically a specific step-by-step plan so you can succeed from the beginning, which is the most important thing, guys, and you want to avoid learning this all on your own, then this training is for you, okay? Basically, anyone can do this, and you can especially do this even if you're part-time, okay? I got started 100% part-time. I was working a full-time job when I was building the side business, so it does not matter if you're working full-time, okay? You can do this on weekends and things like that. So who's this training not for? If you don't want to put in the upfront work to create a great Airbnb and experience for your guests, then this is not for you. If you're looking for some get-rich-quick scheme where you aren't adding real value to the marketplace, then I'm sorry, guys, but this is a real business. You do have to put in effort initially to get it up and running and to make sure that you're going to be providing the guests with a great experience. And if at the end of this training, when I tell you about my coaching program and all the value that I'm going to give you on this training, if you're upset by that, then this training is not for you, okay? Now, you might be thinking, is this even legit? Is Airbnb like a real thing? Can you be successful on Airbnb? Is this a trend, or can I really make a lot of money with this, right? Maybe you're thinking that. That's totally fine. Here are some stats, okay? Airbnb is growing like crazy. Has 150 million Airbnb users worldwide and 1.4 million new users each week. 1.4 million new users each week. That's crazy, right? Here's the thing. Can you guess how many Airbnb listings there are? There's only 4 million listings, okay? So you do the math on that. 150 million users, 1.4 million new users each week, and only 4 million listings. So what does this mean? Well, it means if you're a host on Airbnb, you're hitting a gold mine right now because there's huge demand for Airbnb and it's only growing. So you don't want a piece of that pie. All right, so I hope I have your attention now because we're about to get started. So for those of you who don't understand or don't know about Airbnb, here's some quick things that they do for you. Airbnb handles payments, okay, does payment processing. They charge customers and they directly deposit into your bank account. They handle calendar and reservations. They manage bookings for you. Okay, you're advertising. Okay, they get customers for you. They handle ID verification. They vet potential guests for you, all for just a 3% fee. Okay, so Airbnb has created several millionaire hosts and thousands of six-figure earners. Okay, according to Forbes in 2016, they reported 75 people made over $1 million using Airbnb. Okay, so it is a growing platform. You can definitely make a lot of money with it. Okay, now by the end of this training, you're going to realize that the easiest way for you to become financially free is with this secret Airbnb business model that I'm going to reveal today on our class. Okay, and that the only way for you to dominate Airbnb, okay, and to dominate the market is to implement each piece that I'm going to teach you. Okay, each step is very important, so make sure you pay attention to every single step. Okay, now my ultimate goal for you guys is to be in the top 1% of Airbnb earners. All right, so in order to do that, I want you to take notes, pay attention, silence your cell phones, turn off Facebook, pay attention, and most importantly, participate, okay? So you can ask questions. I'll take a glance at the chat, but I'll try to answer all the questions at the end, okay? So I'll try to mark the questions when I see them, and I'll try to answer them at the end. So before we get started here, my big question to you is, how much money would it take to change your life using Airbnb? How many dollars per month would really change your life? I want you to think about it for a second and write that down or put it in the chat. Okay, what would you do if you could make that much per month passively? Would you quit your job? Would you travel the world? Maybe you just finally never have to stress about bills anymore. Whatever it is, write that number down, put it in the chat. I would appreciate your participation. Someone said $50,000. That's awesome, man. $10,000. Awesome. Absolutely. That's totally possible. Okay, so my name is Mike Xave. Just quick background. I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. I got started in Startup Weekend, and I participated in NASA New Space Business Plan competition. I was a robotics engineer, so naturally I have this very analytical mindset. Okay, maybe that's one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to figure out business for so long. But because I'm kind of that perfectionist. But basically, the truth is that I'm a normal guy, and I got caught in my 9 to 5. Like I said, I was working as an engineer, And I was just looking for a way out. I didn't want to grind out every single day. I would go to work and I didn't hate my job, but I just hated the feeling like I wasn't building anything I could call my own. Maybe you guys can relate to that. Like, you know how you feel like you're going sideways and you're not going up in life. You know what I mean? You're working for somebody else. And just, I couldn't get rid of that feeling, So I was always looking for a new opportunity. And one day I read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek. And maybe some of you are familiar with it, right? But for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's basically about how you can create a business that runs on its own. So you can escape the 9-to-5 and travel anywhere and join the new rich. Okay, I've always been obsessed with this idea, like passive income and being able to travel the world and live that life of financial freedom and do all those cool things. But the truth is, and maybe you guys can relate to this, like I didn't know how to do it. I never knew the right actions to take. So I was trying a whole bunch of different things. And again, I'm sure some of you can relate to this. Like you're trying everything and nothing's really working. Like I mentioned earlier, I basically failed at all the things I was trying. So I tried home automation. I tried to automate people's houses, but it took way too much time. Totally failed. I tried to do e-commerce and make these sports drinks. I tried to make a 3D printing company. I tried all these things. The truth is, none of them worked. So I eventually just kind of got stuck in my 9-to-5 job. And I'm sure some of you know that feeling, But the truth is, I had hope. I was going to climb the corporate ladder. It's a very cliche idea. And I was going to move up the ranks, right? So I was working at this engineering company, and they told me that after 2 years, I would get promoted. Okay, maybe you guys have experienced something similar. We're like, all right, you're on a cycle, and basically you sit down with your boss or your manager. This is what happened to me. They're like, hey, you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're outperforming your peers, and that's what they told me. Like, you're exceeding the expectations. You're doing great stuff, but in 2 years, you're going to be promoted. Okay, just got to wait for that 2-year mark. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to keep, doing my best, and then I'll get promoted. Awesome. So I'm waiting, doing my best, and eventually that 2-year mark comes, right? And I remember sitting down, like I was so excited. Today was the day. It was like a 9 a.m. meeting. I was in this glass office. It's kind of awkward, and I'm sitting there ready. I'm looking professional, and my boss comes in. He sits down, right? And I'm thinking, like, am I going to get a new project? Am I going to get what's the promotion going to be like? Am I going to be, what's going to happen? My life, like I'm excited, like my life is going to change or something. And my boss walks in. He sits down. He's just like, so Mike, you're doing great. What's up, guys? Let me know when you can see me again. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, looks like you can see me. All right, I think you guys can hear me too. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. So I'll quickly just recap for those of you who missed it. But basically what I was saying is I sat down with my boss, and I was so excited. I was ready to get that promotion. I'm not sure exactly where you guys got cut out, but basically I was ready to get that promotion. I was excited. I sat down with my boss, and basically it's very awkward. We're in this glass office, and he looks at me and he says, Mike, look, you're doing great and stuff, but the department is taking some budget cuts right now. So he looks at me and he nonchalantly says, we put your name in the hat for the promotion. He said, my name is in the hat. Your name is in the hat. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? And I was just like, I've been here, working my butt off, right, for 2 years, grinding it out, and now my name is in some hat. So I don't know where you guys got cut off, but I was just asking you, type in the chat box, like, my name is in the hat too, Mike, if you felt like that before. If you felt like you're just not being appreciated, you're putting your hopes and your dreams into this job or this employer, right? And you're like, I'm working hard. They're going to promote me. I'm going to get what I deserve. And all of a sudden, just like that, your name is in the hat. So it was at that moment that I realized I need to start taking financial freedom seriously. Okay. And this is where Airbnb comes in. Okay. I realized I need to take control of my financial future. So in that moment, I decided I was going to quit my job as soon as I could. And I started looking for opportunities. Maybe you guys feel like that too. You know what I mean? Awesome. Some people are saying, my name is in the hat. My name is in the hat. I can see you guys. Yeah. Appreciate the participation. So See, I didn't have many ideas at the time. But I knew one thing. I knew that in order to be financially free, I needed to stop trading time for money, right? That's the biggest piece that you need to get from this. You need to stop trading time for money, okay? And I knew this. I knew I wanted to live that 4-hour workweek lifestyle. And I wanted to make money on autopilot, whether I was working or not, okay? So I literally made a list of things. I outlined my dream business. And this is the first step, guys. You need to outline everything you want in your life. You need to have a vision. Okay, I'm gonna keep coming back to that. But the point is, I made a list. I'm like, this is the business that I want. Okay, I wanted the income to be passive. Okay, so I could live that 4-hour work week lifestyle. I wanted to have a reoccurring income. I didn't want to have to, rely on some big, payday or something. I wanted to have consistent monthly cash flow. Okay, I didn't want to take on any debt, and I didn't want to have employees, and I didn't want to have a lot of capital to get started. Okay, and I wanted to be able to spend $1,000 per month. So I looked at him like, are you serious? You're telling me that this person makes $6,000 per month just renting out his guest rooms on Airbnb? He's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, granted, this person was in a popular city, but the point is he was making a ridiculous amount of money with just his guest rooms. So at that moment, it clicked in my mind. I'm like, I got to understand this business model. I saw there was an opportunity, right? But the craziest part is, and I forgot to mention this, everything that this person was doing, he wasn't cleaning the properties, the person who had the house with the guest rooms. He wasn't doing the text messages. He wasn't doing the communications or anything like that. He had it all automated. He literally was making $6,000, not doing anything at all, just renting the place out on Airbnb. So that's when I realized, that's when that kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, this is it. This is that passive revenue I've always wanted. This is that 4-hour work week lifestyle. So at that moment, I decided I'm going to do everything I can to understand this business. So I first thought, okay, I'm going to buy a house and host it on Airbnb. Okay, I'm just going to model what this guy did. Okay, let me buy this house. So let me start doing the math. I'm like, all right, I got to meet with a realtor. And I actually did this. I went with him, met with a mortgage broker. I got pre-approved. I was ready. And I even found a house that I was going to get. Okay. And I'm like, all right, so how much is it going to cost me to buy this house and get started on Airbnb? So I'm like, all right, I got to put a down payment. Okay, it was going to be $10,000. I got to do the closing costs, electric. I got to redo the lawn. I got to get furniture, and I got to pay all these other fees and taxes and stuff. And it came out to more than $31,000. So thinking kind of like an investor, right? I was like, what's the first thought you would have? Well, how much am I going to make on Airbnb? Is it worth it, right? How long will it take me to make back that $31,000? So I started doing the math. And at that point, I became obsessed with Airbnb and understanding the numbers, okay? At that point, I kind of geeked out. Okay, I became an engineer again and kind of used the skills that I have been learning, and I studied everything I could find in terms of, I tried to study all the numbers. I tried to understand all the listings in my city. I tried to read every book I could about Airbnb. I tried to read every article I could, and I was just on a search, right? How can I know how much I'm going to make on Airbnb? And through my search, eventually I found a series of tools and strategies, and I put them together, and basically I call them my revenue X-ray tools, okay? And it basically is exactly what it sounds, okay? It's like a revenue X-ray machine. I was able to see the revenue that any listing was making in my city or anywhere for that matter. And I was able to make what I call a treasure map of my area, okay? I was able to see exactly which areas were bringing in the most money, okay? Literally, I could see the top performing properties. So this is where basically I was able to say, like I said, where the exact gold mine locations were, see the exact types of properties that were making massive profit, and the kind of properties to avoid, okay? And I was able to see the exact style of property that attracts the most guests and makes the most money on Airbnb. So literally, it's like I was building a treasure map and marking where the X's were, okay? So I soon realized that this treasure map tool, and with my analysis, I could virtually guarantee I would be profitable on Airbnb as long as I followed the footprints, right, that I was seeing on the map. Is it making sense? Are you guys getting this? So with these tools and strategies, I had the magic ability to accurately predict how much revenue I would make on any Airbnb in any location. Do you guys see the value in that? Okay, put a 1 in the chat box if you see the value of that. I could instantly look at any property and know exactly how much profit I would make each and every single month. It was kind of like a superpower, okay? I'm gonna cover this process in a second here. So when I had that, when I realized that, I had this thought, right? I started to think, if I know exactly how much I'll make, Why do I have to buy the property at all? What if I just rented it? I was like, okay, no down payment, no closing costs, no electric, no lawn, no taxes and fees or whatever. I didn't have to pay any of that. Now I don't have to be $31,000 in debt. Now I can be profitable almost from the moment I start. That's crazy, right? So at that moment, I had this realization. So my plan, I'm going to build this map. I'm going to identify the X's in my treasure map, and I'm going to go and find properties that fit that criteria, right? And I'm going to rent them out. So eventually I was doing this, and like I said, soon I found the X's on my map and a property that fit my criteria. And I realized that I could make a revenue per month, monthly revenue of $6,800 with this property, okay? And the rent plus the utilities was $2,920 per month, okay? So I did the math on that. I was like, profit is almost $4,000 each month. And I was like, mind blown, like, is that possible? Is this really gonna work? It took me a while to even believe that this would even work. And I'm sitting there like $2,920 as an expense each every month. I'm gonna have to pay that, and like, I kept thinking, what if this doesn't work, right? Like, I was so afraid to do this because I'm looking at the numbers, it makes sense, but nobody's here to tell me like, yeah, Mike, this is it, do it, So I had to just take this leap of faith, to be honest. And one day I realized, you know what? I'm so committed to changing my life. I don't have all the information. I don't know exactly if this is going to work, but I know that I want to become financially free. I know I want to stop trading my time for money. And I know that this is potentially how I'm going to do it. So I just put all the chips on the table. I'm like, I'm in, I'm going to do it. I commit. So a couple of days later, I met with a property manager. I told him about the idea. I was like, hey, I'm not going to live here. I want to rent this out. And he's like, well, that doesn't seem to be a problem, just as long as it doesn't get too rowdy or anything. We shook hands. I signed the paperwork, and he gave me the key. Okay. And I come back to this agreement later. Okay. But for now, imagine this. Okay. I get the keys, right? I'm like, all right, I just did this. I just signed the papers. A couple days later, I walk in, and I walk into an apartment that looks like this, completely empty. And I start thinking to myself, what did I just do? Like, the reality that I just made this commitment hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? There was one big problem, right? It all happened really fast. Like I said, I got the keys to the apartment, I walked in, and then I realized I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how to furnish a property. I have no idea how to decorate. I have no idea how to host a guest. I don't know any of the art side of the business. I had no idea what I was doing. So I went back to the drawing board, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow the same strategy, okay? I'm going to look at the best. I'm going to go back to the research. I'm going to look at the best properties. What's making the most money on Airbnb? Okay, what is it? What's in their listing? What are in the pictures? Okay, what's in the description? What's in the titles? I wanted to study everything about the top properties. Okay, and I started to make this model of the best properties and the way it looked and the style and all of that. And eventually, I realized exactly what I needed to make it look like. Okay, and exactly what I needed to say in the title and the headline. Right. So I get it all furnished. I get it ready. It's staged. I'm ready to go. And I remember it was a Friday night. I spent weeks on the research, like I mentioned, getting it all perfect. And I set the listing up. Everything looked beautiful. It was great. I had the pictures professionally done, all that. And I remember it was a Friday night. It was 10 p.m. And I was staring at my computer in a dark room. I was glaring at my face. And I had my finger on the mouse, hovering over the list button. And I sat there for like 5 minutes. And it was a big moment in my life because I was like, eventually, when I click list, right? Like either something's it's gonna be great, it's gonna change my life, or it's gonna be a bust. I didn't know what was gonna happen, so I was nervous, right? And eventually I clicked publish listing, and I sat there, and all of a sudden, nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. Right? So I'm like, all right, well, whatever's gonna happen, at least I set it in motion, right? So I like close my computer, I go into the shower, and as I'm getting out of the shower, I hear this weird noise. Okay, it's a noise that I would come to love in the future. And I looked at my phone, and there was a notification. And I didn't know what it was. And I looked a little bit closer, and I saw it, and my jaw dropped. Okay, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was 10:13 p.m. I had launched my listing 13 minutes ago, and the notification on my phone read, Airbnb booking $1,223. Can you imagine how I felt in that moment? Like, oh my gosh, this actually worked. Like the first thing that's running through my mind is this real? Did this actually just happen? Did I get my first booking? Did I just make $1,200? But the crazy thing is, next day, it didn't stop. My phone kept dinging. $532, $1,022, $582. It kept going. I remember literally, I was driving on the freeway and my phone kept ringing and I could not take my eyes off of my phone. And I swear I almost crashed because I was like, I could not believe it. I kept thinking, is this real? Is this real? So I guess you're thinking, all right, what were the results? Give me the numbers, right? So basically what happened is in the first 13 days, I booked out almost 2.5 months of my calendar, okay, for a total of $18,872. So in the first 13 days, I was like, this is working. This is a real thing. I just made a business. So I'll show you guys some screenshots. So this is that first property. Like I said, rent was $2,620. Utilities was $300. Let me know if you guys can see me. It says you guys lost signal here. Just want to make sure you guys can see me. But this was the rent, utilities, and the payout for that month, very first month, was $8,496. Okay, so the profit was $5,576. Let me know if you guys can see me real quick. Okay, cool. Perfect. So yeah, like that first month, I was like, this is amazing. This is even more money than I expected. Next month, it was a little bit closer to like what my average, what I was really expecting, $3,929. Next month after that, we had another great month, $5,953. So crazy, right? So then I'm like, well, I might as well keep doing this, right? So I started getting more and more. And here's one that we started. The first month wasn't that great. We made $424. But that first month, you're trying to build credibility in your listing. You're trying to get reviews and stuff. So we're like, okay, that's fine. Next month, $2,841. Another listing here, boom, straight out of the gate. We did great, $3,452. Next month, a little bit lower, $1,365. But hey, I'll take $1,365 in profit any day of the week. And then next month, $2,838. So you can see, guys, it was working over and over and again. So I was like, man, what if we go for a bigger listing? What if I got, a 3-story house or something like that? So I started getting more confident. And you can see here, the rent for this property was $3,200. The utilities was really expensive, $450. But look at the payout, $11,000, $11,300. It was $7,600 in profit. Could you imagine that from one Airbnb? And it's all because I was following this process. And I see you guys, I see your questions. I'm going to get to questions soon. I might actually cover it as I'm going through this. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I will get to your questions. So another month we had a $9,000 month, made $12,700 in revenue, and another month we had a $7,800 in profit. So guys, you can see obviously this completely changed my life, right? And 3 months later, after I had started my very first Airbnb, I quit my job, just like I wanted to. And think about, wrap your head around that for a second. 3 months after I started my first Airbnb, I quit my job. I was making enough cash flow to quit my high-paying engineering job. I became financially free. I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. I was able to basically automate the business and have a recurring cash flow every single month. And it only took me a couple months to get started, and I had no idea what I was doing, like nobody to show me the steps, And you can have the same result. Now I get to travel and do what I love whenever I want. I get to take vacations on a whim. I get paid when I'm on vacation. It's the craziest feeling. I can volunteer and contribute my time in any way that I want. Like next week, I'm gonna be volunteering at a camp as like a counselor, and I have the whole week. I can take the whole week off of work. Like I can do those kinds of things, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm starting businesses, doing what I've always wanted to do, and it's all because of that very first Airbnb listing. It's all because I took that step and I committed to my financial future. So no, you're just one Airbnb listing away from an entirely new life. All right. So I learned how to work smarter and not harder. I automated the business. Now I run my Airbnb 100% remotely. Last month I was in Hawaii for the entire month. Okay, most of my Airbnbs are in South Carolina. I just moved to Florida, so I'm running everything completely remotely at this point. I'm going to start expanding Florida, but I was able to start and grow my business debt free. I was able to manage the entire business from my phone on the Airbnb app, and like I just mentioned, Last month I got back from a vacation in Hawaii, and all the while my Airbnbs were cranking out passive cash into my bank account. Okay, so here's a picture of me finally living that 4-hour work week lifestyle. So people ask me now all the time, like, how in the world do you do this? What's your secret? And I told them, I've created a proven step-by-step system for finding and leasing ultra profitable properties, listing them on Airbnb, and then automating and outsourcing them. Okay. And again, guys, I see your questions. I will get to them at the end of the training, or I might actually just cover them while I'm going through it. So guys, there is a step-by-step process for this, and right now I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to break down each step. All right. So make sure you're paying attention because every single step is very important. All right. Secret number 1 is the cash flow finder. How to be the highest paid Airbnb listing in town, even when you're first starting out and have 0 reviews. Okay. So finding the gold, right? Making that treasure map. How do we do that? The first step is we need to be aware of any regulations. Okay. Our Airbnbs are 100% legal. We need to know where it's allowed, where it's not allowed. And right now in the United States, it's allowed in 80% of the cities, 10% of the cities it's under review, and 10% of the cities it's not allowed. But how it works basically is as long as you can identify the area where it's restricted, you just get Airbnbs everywhere else. Okay, it's that simple. Step number 2 is to find the profit centers. Okay, kind of like building that treasure map. And then we want to find the golden rentals. So let me break this down for you. All right, so for example, let's say in Miami, in Florida, okay, it's not allowed. Okay, first, like I said, regulations. Okay, I know it's not allowed in Miami Beach. Okay, so we find out exactly what the regulations are. Okay, boom. So that part's out. Well, where is it allowed? Where can I make profit? So the next step is we use our revenue, X-ray revenue tool. Okay, and we search around the city. Okay, where it's allowed. Then we find the profit centers. Okay, and I say with my revenue X-ray tool, I can see that in this area, right, this is where most of the profit is coming from. This is where the highest paid listings are. So this is where I'm going to be searching. Okay, so now I found my profit center. So the next step is to find the golden rentals. So again, we're going to be using tools to identify our golden rentals. But what we're looking for specifically are things like how many bedrooms make the most money. In other words, the top listings, how many bedrooms do they have? The top listings, how many people do they accommodate? Is it 4? Is it 6? Is it 8? Is it 32? That's a joke. But the point is, we're trying to find out exactly what these numbers are. Okay, what type of amenities should we provide to the in the property to have the highest impact on our revenue? Okay, do all the best properties have, for example, in France, most of the best properties have like oranges. I noticed like a weird trend, like they leave, most of the best properties leave oranges out. So I'm going to leave oranges out. Something as simple as that, right? Maybe I need to have a Keurig coffee machine. Like the point is, we need to find what those amenities are. And next, what are the properties features that seem to attract the most guests? So let me give you an example. When I was first doing this, I noticed that the top properties all had spiral staircases. So what do you think I did? I looked for properties that had spiral staircases. I knew that was a feature that was going to attract the most guests. Okay, all this is market specific. Okay, but once you identify this model, that's the golden rental. Okay, you know, once you identify your golden rental archetype or your model, you know exactly what to look for. And where are we going to look for these golden rentals? In the profit centers. Is that making sense? Are you guys getting this? Okay, so here's the thing. Not all rentals are going to be golden rentals, obviously. We're going to look through the profit centers. We're going to find the golden rentals. Okay, then what do you think the next step is? Well, next, we need to locate landlords who are going to be more than willing to let us list their properties on Airbnb, even if we have no experience doing so. Okay, so that's secret number 2. So let's get into it, leasing or using other people's properties. Now, this is the Airbnb leasing model. Let me just break this down for you. Step 1, we find a landlord with a golden rental, okay, as I mentioned earlier. Step 2, you have them agree to let you host guests on Airbnb, okay? Step 3 is that you lease the property from them as if you were a regular tenant, i.e. you pay a flat rate, okay? You pay a flat rental rate each month, just like you're a regular tenant, okay? Then you list the property on Airbnb and you start making money. Make sense? Okay. So again, we're looking for these golden rentals. So what you need to do, obviously, in securing your first Airbnb properties, we want to start scheduling showings with the owners of the golden rentals. With the owners of the golden rentals. Okay, that's a key. The key here is that we want to speak to the owner of these properties. We need to speak to the decision maker. Does that make sense? You guys getting this? All right. No, not every landlord will agree to this, obviously. But if you do it the right way and you're prepared, then this becomes very easy, okay? You're probably thinking, how the heck do you convince a landlord to let you host on Airbnb? Don't worry, I'm gonna explain how. I used to have a lot of trouble convincing landlords to let me lease their beautiful properties to complete strangers, all right? I talked to dozens of landlords and got exactly 0 yeses to my plan. Nobody wanted to work with me. But it was all because I was just doing one thing wrong, basically. I was thinking, why isn't this working? What are you doing wrong? And I realized basically I would go and I would say something like, hey, I want to lease your property to random people and make a whole bunch of money on Airbnb. Is that okay? Now, obviously I didn't say that exactly, but that's how it was coming off. And of course, no landlord is going to agree to that. So I realized that landlords only care about 2 things. 1, will they get their money on time? And 2, will their property be taken care of? Okay, those are the 2 key things. So I needed to learn how to change the conversation. And I learned how to talk to landlords in a way that made them realize, A, I'm a professional business and they're going to receive automatic payments. And B, I'm going to have professional cleaners in the property multiple times a week, and the property will be maintained to a 5-star standard. Okay, once I was able to articulate this and they realized that not only are they going to get payments, automatically every single month, but this person is going to take care of my property better than anybody else would. Once they realized that, it became really easy to get the landlord on board, okay? So they realized that nobody would be a better tenant than me because it was in my best interest to make sure the property always looked spick and span like a 5-star hotel, okay? It wasn't long before landlords were begging me to rent their properties. Soon, I had my first Airbnb listing and everybody was happy. It was a win-win-win, okay, for the owner, for the guests, and for me. So the lesson is it's really easy to get a landlord to agree if you know what to say and you can explain why it's in their best interest. Okay, does that make sense? That's all it takes. Some other tips here is that I got very professional with the way I presented the idea. I showed up, I had business casual attire, I had a briefcase, I had business cards, I had a website, okay? Once you show up as a professional and you're gonna get treated as a professional, okay? So that's kind of the key here. And when you know what to say, it's not hard to convince landlords to do this. So here's the thing. You must have a written agreement, okay? As I mentioned earlier, I kind of alluded to this. My first agreement was a handshake agreement with a property manager. Now this was fine until the management changed. And I had to stop Airbnb-ing the property because I didn't have it written in the lease. And I missed out on at least $1,000 worth of bookings. $10,000 worth of bookings because I had to close Airbnb months before my lease ended. Okay, so I learned from that. I have to figure out how to get it in the lease. Okay, it's very important that you have a written agreement with the landlords. Okay, so now besides the written agreement, there are dozens of other tools that you can use to dramatically increase your success with landlords. As I mentioned earlier, have a simple website. It's like instant credibility. You can get business cards. And also short-term rentals insurance. So I always get short-term rentals insurance, and I tell the landlord, hey, I'm going to get insurance, and you're going to be the beneficiary, okay? So not only are you going to have your own insurance, you're going to have my insurance, and Airbnb also insures the property. They have their $1 million host guarantee. So there are multiple layers there. So I always make the landlord feel very, very comfortable with the arrangement, and all the landlords that I work with love me because I treat their properties so well, okay? All right, so now you understand. We find the golden rentals, we get the landlord to agree, and now it's time to host on Airbnb and turn this property into a money machine. Okay, I'm going to be talking about how to automate, scale to 6 figures without ever meeting, greeting, or cleaning after your guests, even while you're working a full-time job. Okay, like I was when I first got started. Okay, step number 1 is we need to stage the irresistible Airbnb. Again, guys, I see your questions. I'm going to get to them in the end. All right, so what does that mean, stage the irresistible Airbnb? Well, here's a little secret, guys. Most hosts on Airbnb are amateurs. Most people are just somebody who put a room up in their house or decided to just try to make some extra money. So they went on Airbnb and put some like silly pictures up, or pictures with low lighting, and they took with their flip phone or something. The point is, if you have well-lit professional photos and great amenities, and you follow the golden rental process, and you can beat out all of the competition. It's really not that hard. Okay, so let me show you an example. Here's an example of me with one of my coaching students. This was Christian, and now Christian paid me a lot of money to work with him one-on-one, okay, to get his first listing up. Okay, this is the before picture. These are the after pictures. Basically, he just followed my advice step by step. I literally went through his entire listing. I told him exactly what to change from the description, the titles, the pictures of the amenities. I helped him completely build the listing, and basically in the first month alone, it brought in over $7,000. That's the power of knowing the secrets of creating a magnet listing, right? That attracts booking after booking. Okay, now some of the keys here are that you want well-lit pictures. You can see all the natural light in these photos, right? So you want a lot of white natural light. You want to take wide-angle shots, and you want to have some just a slight color scheme, right? Just a little bit of matching colors makes all the difference in the world. Another big key here, guys, is you can see some of these little tiny towels on the bed. It literally makes your place look like amateur to professional, okay? These little tiny tweaks make all the difference. It's very easy to do. So step number one, you make those tweaks, you get good pictures. Step number two, you stage the property. And what I mean by that is you leave things out for the guests, like you leave wine out for them, you leave Gatorades and waters and granola bars. Okay, so you make it like such an amazing experience when they get there. So now you're probably thinking, man, that looks so nice. It looks like it's cleaned so well all the time. I don't want to be the one that cleans the property all the time. I don't want to be the one that puts the bottle of wine out. Well, don't worry, I don't want to be that person either. And I run this business, like I said, entirely remotely. Okay, so if I want to be on a beach in Hawaii, I can do that. Or if I want to be scaling my business, I can do that as well. So what we're going to do is our team is going to do all this for us. Okay, so you might be thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean your team? Okay, so the first part of the team is the cleaners. Obviously, they are the MVP. Okay, they're absolutely what you need. The rest of it is like something you can build later. First thing, obviously, you get your cleaners. Next, what I do is I have a personal concierge team. They answer inquiries. They take care of all the coordinating, so I don't have to handle any messages. I also have a handyman. So if there's any minor maintenance that gets done, or sorry, if there's any minor maintenance that happens, or little repairs that need to be taken care of, my personal concierge team will contact my handyman. They'll send them to the house and schedule the repair. I don't have to worry about any of that. Okay. I also use technology like e-locks and automated messages. I'm going to explain what that means. First step, let's talk about the reliable cleaning crew. Okay, this is obviously the most important thing. Now, how do you get a reliable cleaning crew? It all comes down to having a bulletproof checklist. Okay, you can see how detailed I get here with my checklist. Basically, I tell them, just follow every single step in this checklist and you'll be good. And as long as they do that, I can have reliable 5-star reviews consistently. And all I have to do is just give them a document. Okay. Next is we leverage technology. Okay. So I have Wi-Fi locks, so I don't have to be worrying about keys. I don't have to be letting any guests in. Okay, everybody comes in, they get a new code every time, and they can just come in the property during their stay. All that happens automatically. Okay, I can see when people check in, check out. I can see all that from an app. So you can use Wi-Fi locks to take care of all that. Okay, the cool thing about these Wi-Fi locks is that they actually integrate with Airbnb. So you can actually it actually automatically sends a new code whenever guests come. Things like that, handles all that for you. You can also use like a Nest thermostat or an Ecobee, whatever, to handle the temperature control as well. And then number 3, we want to have automated messages. Okay, when I first got started, guys, I was trying to send messages out to everybody. Hey, this is your check-in information. This is your checkout information. Will you leave a review? Hey, the cleaners, please clean the property at this time. Clean the property this time. It was a mess, guys. So what I realized is that we can leverage the power of software to basically handle all this for us. So how this works is that when I have a reservation, automatically the cleaner gets scheduled. Automatic email gets sent to my cleaners. They get scheduled and a message gets sent to the guest. 48 hours before they check in, another automatic message gets sent. And I have all these messages that happen automatically, okay? From when they check out to even asking for a review, all of that process happens automatically. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like. You can see messages that are in queue, future messages, etc. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more advanced. It's for the people that want to take it to the next level. Okay, the next step is to get the personal concierge team, as I mentioned earlier. So, as a great first step, you get your you get the automated messages. But I wanted to have somebody to handle all the specific questions, reservation alterations, early check-ins, requests during the stay. I wanted all of that taken care of. Okay, so I soon realized as I got more and more properties, I needed to take this to the next level. So I started looking for ways to completely remove myself from the business. That's when I realized I needed my own personal concierge. So I started looking for services that would do this for me and looking for people that can handle guest communications, but there were a few problems. They were really expensive, they were slow and didn't provide great service, and that was like a key. And they required many listings. Some of them required 50 listings. Like who's gonna get 50 listings before they can automate their property? That doesn't make any sense. So I went on this quest and I realized I need to make my own team. So I hired a team of virtual assistants and I trained them on how to run my Airbnb business to the T, okay? So the benefit here was that it was extremely inexpensive. Okay, I'm using like virtual assistants, okay? They're the best service. They give tailored responses. They know exactly what to say for my listings. And I was able to get started with just one listing, which is awesome. Okay, so any of you guys can get started with just one listing. So I call them my superhost heroes. They're my personal concierge team. Are you starting to see how this can become very streamlined? Are you starting to see how with little effort you can really put all the tools in place and have this run passively? See, once these tools are set up, it's done, guys. And you really can see how having a personal concierge team can help you automate the business from day one. Okay, so this is kind of the flow of how it works. Let's say this is a guest. Let's say this is Sally and John. They send an email making a reservation or asking a question. That goes to my virtual assistants, okay, my personal concierge team, and they answer those questions. Okay, I'm over here in Hawaii, not dealing with that, having a great time. Now, if there's a specific question, a unique question that my concierge team doesn't know, they'll send me a message. I'll answer that question, and then they put that in a frequently asked questions document, so I never have to answer it again. This is starting to make sense? How like the more and more you do this, the better and better it gets, because your frequently asked questions document gets better and better. The less and less you have to you get questions, right? So it's self-improving, and eventually this is what my work day looked like. This is all I had to do was, hey, is everything okay? Ask my guest or ask my cleaning crew. They're like, yep, everything's awesome. Now I don't even have to do that. Everything is completely automated. There's automated messages now that happen. So this was a little while ago, and the rest of my day I'm just enjoying my time on vacation or whatever I'm doing. So, all right. So just let me know if you guys can see me. Put a 1 in the chat box if you are getting this. If this is making sense. If you're like, wow, I see how amazing this business can be and how you can automate it. But let me tell you, it's not just about automation, right? Because the next step is to make the most money we can or we want to with using this process, okay? So as I talked about, you get a property, you list it on Airbnb, and you automate it, right? Awesome, guys. Seen a lot of ones coming in the chat box. Now what? Now guess what? We take that profit, right? We become savvy investors, and we invest in another property, okay? Automate that one as well, okay? Now the next step is we take some of that profit and we get more properties, right? And then we automate those properties. Are you starting to see how this can have a compounding effect? So if you want to make $100,000 using Airbnb, how would you do it? Right? You could get 4 properties that make $2,000 in profit each month. That's really not that hard to do. And that would equate to about $96,000 a year in profit. Pretty cool. Or you could just get 2 Airbnbs that make $4,000 in profit. Like remember I showed you those little higher end the higher end properties, right? To make $100,000. Or if you're really lazy and you want to do the least amount of work possible, and I don't blame you, then you just get 1 property that makes about $8,000 in profit. Like you saw earlier, one of my really high end properties. And that's it, guys. Now imagine if you had multiple high end properties. Are you starting to see how easy it is to really scale this business? Starting to see how stupid simple it is to make a lot of money on Airbnb if you do it the right way, if you follow the step-by-step process I showed you today. And the best part is it takes very little work. You just have to get it up and then it runs on its own. And like I said, you can do this even while you're still working your day job. I got started with this business when I was working a full-time job. Okay, I just did it on the weekends, met with landlords on the weekends, furnished the property on the weekends. That's all you need to do. Just one more key. You want to know how to maximize your profits using Airbnb? See, less than 1% of hosts know anything about pricing or maximizing your nightly occupancy. See, like I mentioned earlier, most hosts are amateurs. You're dealing with amateurs. So here's the thing. If you learn how to price and charge a premium, we can maximize our revenue each night. See, we can utilize tools to understand the supply and demand of each night so we can charge the most when the demand is high. Is that making sense? So we can really, that's how we can charge a premium. okay, and really double or triple our profits. Now, also, if we want to maximize our occupancy, see, most hosts get about 60% occupancy. I can easily get up to 95% occupancy or more, all by using the right tools and strategies, okay? It's really not that hard. So if you learn these simple tricks about pricing and how to set your calendar, you'll beat everyone in your market and you'll make the most money possible. So guys, I know we covered a lot of stuff. We covered secret number 1, the cash flow finder, how to be the highest paid listing in town. We covered how to use other people's properties and locate landlords that would be more than willing to let you list their property on Airbnb. And we talked about secret number 3, the money machine, how to automate and scale to 6 figures without ever meeting, greeting, or cleaning after your guests. There's a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys are like, whoa, there was a lot of information. But maybe you're feeling like this, right? You're like, yeah, I'm so excited. I want to do this. I want to go to the next level. I feel like I could take over the world and start this business. But you might also be feeling like this. And this is how I felt when I started learning about all this stuff. You know, it wasn't long until I felt like, man, there's a lot to know. You know, I went basically like, man, maybe if there was a step-by-step process, it would be way easier. Okay. So that's why I put together something special for those of you who are on the webinar right now. Okay. So if you want to take this to the next level, put a 1 in the chat box. I just want to ask you, is it okay with you guys if I share a special program that I made for you? Okay, I want to make sure I get your permission to share this awesome program. Okay, it's going to help you take this to the next level. I'm going to show you and really break this down. If that's cool with you guys, I'll go ahead and get started. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So the program I made is called Airbnb Empire. Okay. So what you're going to get in the program is it's an 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass. Okay, everything you need to create and run a 6-figure Airbnb business while working as little as 2 hours a week. That's what you're going to learn in this course. Okay, now I'll break it down really quickly. Basically, in week 1, we're going to find the most profitable properties in your area. In week 2, we're going to select the properties that we want, those golden rentals, and we're going to start building credibility with landlords. With week 3, we're going to close your first deal. And we're going to get started earning money on Airbnb in the fastest time possible. In week 4, we're going to automate your check-in and checkout processes so you don't have to physically meet or greet a guest. Okay. In week 5, we're going to list your property on Airbnb so you can start getting bookings and collecting cash. All right. In week 6, we're going to refine all your systems and oil that Airbnb money machine. Okay. And you can get ready to automate. In week 7, we're going to automate that process so you can sit back and start collecting the checks. And in week 8, we're going to find your next property so you can scale your business if that's what you want to do. Does that sound pretty cool, right? Are you guys getting this? Do you want to learn how to do that? All right. Here's the thing. This course also comes with a private mastermind group. Okay. This is a personal group coaching. I come in this group and I give you guys exclusive trainings. I vet students' properties before they invest. I look at students' listings and I tell them exactly what they need to change to maximize their revenue, just like I did with Christian. Okay, they can ask me questions during weekly office hours. I'm literally there for you guys to get you guys results. Okay, so who's this work for? If you have no property and no clue how to get started, that's not a problem. I'm going to show you everything you need to know if you're starting from the ground up. Okay, if you have a property and you want to make 3 or 4 times more than you would with a regular tenant, then this is for you. If you already have an Airbnb listing, but you want to maximize that revenue on that listing and you want to get more and more of them, then this is for you. Okay, now here's a quick screenshot of a coaching call I was doing with a student of mine. You can see we're kind of building that map out. Okay, the coolest thing was after we did this, we had this call. 6 weeks later, he sent me his calendar and he was so excited. You can see he's like, he said, I'm pumped, man, how things are going. He's filling up his calendar. And a couple days later, he sent me this. He said, man, everything is going great. We made $14.5 thousand in bookings. And this was a couple months ago. He said until April 6th and with only 4 unfilled days. So basically what that means is that he had almost 100% occupancy. And he says, we already have 10 5-star reviews. Couldn't be going any better. So that's what I love to see when you guys send me messages like that. That's what pumps me up. That's what I get fired up about. So the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass has a value of $2,997. And it comes with a 10K Club private group coaching program. And again, guys, that private group coaching program, the point of that is to get all the students into the 10K Club, which means they're making $10,000 in profit each month from their Airbnb. All right. So another thing I want to give you guys is not just the information, but I want to give you the tools that you needed. Okay. So you can jumpstart this process. So I've included a profitability calculator, a proven automated message scripts, which basically teaches you my secret checkout note that allows me to get consistent 5-star reviews on demand. I give you my cleaners cheat sheet and my all-in-one supply list, which is so key. Okay, with these tools, you're going to be able to determine if a property is going to be profitable before you invest a dime. You're going to be able to automate guessing, hurt your bottom line. So I'm going to teach you how to avoid all of that. Okay, so again, guys. Okay, I think you guys can't see me, so let me know if you guys can see me, and I'll keep going. All right. Just make sure you guys can hear me and see me. Cool. I appreciate you guys dealing with my technical difficulties. All right. So what I was saying, if you guys didn't hear me, basically you'll be able to avoid all the guesswork when choosing a property. You'll be able to decide which ones are home runs and duds. Like I mentioned earlier, that profitability calculator is going to help you so much in determining those golden rentals. Okay. That's key here. Okay. And that all comes in the B&B toolbox. Okay. Awesome. So the B&B toolbox is extremely valuable, has a value of $1,997. Total value so far, $4,994. Now, I wanted to give you guys everything you needed, so I decided to make an entirely separate training called the Treasure Map Strategy Breakdown Series. Okay, I wanted to actually show you like the step-by-step process of an actual case study. Okay, so I wanted to really break this down because I know this is key. So you're going to see my exact process, step-by-step, how I build my ultra-profitable treasure maps. Okay, you're going to see how I find the best locations for Airbnb. You're going to see how I find the profit centers or the gold mines. Excuse me. You're going to see how I create the golden rental models and how I find and contact landlords with golden rentals. All right, you're going to see the entire process broken down. It's like an over-the-shoulder view. Watch me build this step by step. It's a breakdown with practical examples and demonstrations. Okay, you're also going to get all the tools you need. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use every single tool. Okay, I'm going to show you the kind of analysis that I do. I'm gonna show you each one in depth. Okay, by the end of this training, you'll be a professional. Okay, so that's included, guys. It's called the Treasure Map Breakdown Series. $2,997 value. Obviously, that's extremely valuable. It's a total value so far of $7,991. Now, there's one other thing that I definitely wanted to give you guys because I've gone through this process, and in the beginning, when I didn't know what I was doing, basically I was doing this the hard way. Okay, I would find a property, schedule a showing, explain the idea, and hope the landlord said yes. And I would repeat the process over and over. And eventually I would get a yes, but it wasn't on a property that I really loved, that I knew wasn't on a golden rental, right? So I wanted to create this module, the landlord on board, so you can get landlords to be begging to work with you and not the other way around, okay? So in the landlord on board training, you're gonna learn exactly what to say to landlords so that they instantly get it, okay? And that they immediately start trying to convince you to work with them, which is a pretty cool feeling. You'll learn my secret 2-sentence phrase that I say at the end of every interaction that will make them want to jump on your offer as soon as possible. And you'll learn how to talk to landlords in a way that's easy, that makes it feel like two friends just chatting, and rather than like a high pressure business deal, okay? It's gonna come with everything you need. It shows video breakdowns. It shows the exact script of what I say to landlords, okay? I show you word for word. You can literally just copy it. I give you a business page, a business card, so you can literally just hand them those items. They can see all the benefits of working with you, and you become professional. You really show up prepared. Okay, you're gonna have every tool that you need is included. All right. Now you might be thinking, but what about the lease? What about the restrictive leases? You said I need a written agreement. What do I do there? Okay. Remember how I talked about that earlier? Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I can't offer legal documents, but what I can do is show you exactly how I personally modify my lease agreements to allow for Airbnb guests, okay? I can show you how I document in writing the terms for my agreements, okay? So you're gonna have everything you need. You're gonna have my personal examples, so I'm not holding anything back. So look, guys, you can start Airbnb other people's properties without this piece, but it would be a huge risk, okay? I'm gonna give you all the tools that you need to do this legally, risk-free, and in the most profitable way possible. All right, so again, you're gonna get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the B Toolbox, the Treasure Map Breakdown Series, and the Landlord on Board. And the Landlord on Board is obviously extremely valuable, valued at $1,497. Total value so far, $9,488. Now, the last thing I wanna give you guys, and I alluded to this earlier, and it drives me crazy because it's one of the most critical pieces of this, and I call it the ROI machine, because I wanna get you to charge the maximum for your property, okay? I want you to get the absolute highest revenue possible. So that's what the ROI machine is all about. Look, I don't want you to start like I did, okay? I had no idea how to price my property. Let me ask you a question. If you were about to start on Airbnb, how would you price your property? How much would you charge per night? Probably thinking, I have no idea. And I had no idea either, okay? I was charging $200 a night. And guys, like I mentioned, I was getting dozens of bookings. That first day, I was seeing those bookings coming in. I was freaking out. I was, man, I'm making money. And I was, but I didn't realize one thing. I soon found out that I was significantly underpricing my properties. I was charging $200. I could have been charging $400 per night. Some nights I could have charged, I even booked it out, for $600 for when I was originally charging $200. For the max I would ever charge was like $250. I realized I could charge up to $600. That kind of messes with your mind a little bit, right? I'm like, man, let me go back and calculate how much I actually threw down the drain because I didn't know how to price my property. And the months that I didn't know this, it came out to about $5,300 that I literally threw down the drain. And I don't want that to happen to you guys, okay? And it was all because I didn't know how to price my property. So I want you to avoid that. So I'm going to teach you my pricing hacks, literally doubled my revenue. I'm going to teach you my last to book versus first to book formula. I'm going to show you a method to track supply and demand so you know exactly on which dates to skyrocket your pricing, all right? Make sense? So you might be thinking, but if I charge so much for my property, how am I going to get my calendar booked out all the time, while still charging a high price? So there are two pieces to the ROI machine. One is on pricing and one is on calendar, okay? Two pieces of the ROI machine. One is on pricing, one is on calendar. The second piece is on calendar, like I just mentioned. It has to do with search rank hacking, okay? And I apologize because I geek out about this. I've literally read every article on the internet about this. I've spent months testing this, and I really love this nerdy stuff, so forgive me for that. But the secret to charging a premium and booking out your calendar is by ranking highly on the Airbnb search algorithm. Now you might be thinking like, Mike, what the heck is the Airbnb search algorithm? But don't worry, it's actually really simple. Think about it like this. It's kind of like window shopping. When you're at the mall or something, and you're window shopping, right? You see products on display in the window, right? They get the most eyeballs, they get the most views, and in turn, they get purchased the most frequently, right? Is that making sense? Okay, well, in Airbnb, it works the same way. And I'm sorry, guys, I know I'm speaking fast. I'm trying to get through this quickly. Now, Airbnb works the same way, okay? Look, on Airbnb, this is what window shopping looks like. You'll see listings on display, and guess what? These listings get the most views and the highest number of bookings, all right? So you're gonna learn in the second part of the ROI machine, you're gonna learn the secrets to filling your calendar to 90 to 100% occupancy each and every single month. You're gonna learn my set it and forget it strategies to rank on the top of the search rank on Airbnb from day one. So you'll be in the window on Airbnb, and you're gonna get my top 3 overlooked calendar settings that will instantly boost your search rank and bookings. And you're gonna also learn the one thing that you should never do that most people don't talk about, drives me nuts. Okay, so if you don't do this, if you don't use the ROI machine, you'll still make a lot of money on Airbnb using the rest of the process, okay? But my goal isn't for you just to make money. I want you to dominate the platform. I want you to be in the top 1% of all listings. If you remember, that's my goal for you. That's why I'm giving you the ROI machine as well, okay? It's a bonus training, comes with this package. So you're gonna get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the B&B toolbox with a profitability calculator showing you how to get golden rentals. I'm gonna show you the treasure map strategy breakdown series, literally over the shoulder view. You're gonna get the landlord onboard, all the scripts, all the documents you need, the lease agreements, examples of that, everything you need, and the ROI machine, how to price extremely high, charge a premium, and fill out your calendar. Okay, everything you need is in here. Total value of $11,985. Now think about it for a second. If all this did, okay, is get you 1 or 2 listings that passively brought in a profit of $5,000 per month, would it be worth it? Well, yeah, it would be worth it. What if all this did was allow you to quit your job so you could work 2 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week? Would it be worth it? Yeah, it'd be worth it. What if all this did was give you the ability to go on vacation whenever you wanted, all the while passively running a 6-figure Airbnb business? Would it be worth it? So guys, I really had 2 choices here. Either I could make this training as cheap as possible, right? Make it like a basic course, basic training, right? But I couldn't really invest all my time into it. Or I could go the second route, which is make it an extremely value-packed course. Obviously, it requires a little bit more investment on your part, but I could devote my time, my resources, my energy to guaranteeing your success. So which one would you prefer that I do, right? I'm thinking if you're gonna join this, if you're gonna commit to this program, if you're gonna commit to building an Airbnb business and changing your life, you want all the attention you get. You want the best training, absolutely, right? So that's why I went with the second option, okay? So what's one Airbnb listing worth to you? Think about it. What's one successful listing worth to you? Imagine if you had $2,000 reoccurring monthly income. It's passive income. What if you had $3,000 to $5,000 a month monthly income, right? With just 1 or 2 listings. How much would you pay to get one Airbnb listing up and running? If you could make that every single month. You can see why people are willing to pay me up to $5,000 for one-on-one coaching to get their listing up and running. You can see why this is a good deal at $5,000. It's like, it's a no-brainer. If this course is going to get you these results, of course you'd pay $5,000 for this. Here's the thing, guys. The entire cost of the Airbnb Empire course is only $1,997. But since you're on this training with me today in this live webinar, but here's the thing, guys. The caveat to this, to the refund, is that we ask that you complete at least the first 2 modules. All of that can be done from your computer. Very simple. But the point is, we're trying to filter out people who are just dabblers, who aren't actually committed to changing their life. We want to work with people who are going to make change. We want to work with people who are actually in it to start this business and to change their lives. All right. So if you're not going to complete the first 2 modules, which are super easy, you can do from your computer, then this course probably isn't for you. Okay. Now it gets even better, guys. If you publish your listing in the next 60 days, you will get 100% of your money back. Okay. This is a action taker's results, basically not refund, a reward. Okay. So if you get your listing up in the next 60 days, I'm going to give you your money back. The only caveat is that you jump on a call with me, a video chat, and I can see your success. Okay. That's all you got to do. If you get your listing up in the next 60 days, jump on a call. I'll give you all your money back for the training as a reward for taking action and changing your life. Okay. Now, the real question is, are you going to take this leap of faith with me and change your life forever? Remember, you're going to get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass valued at $2,997. The B&B Toolbox valued at $1,997. The Treasure Map Breakdown Series valued at $2,997. The Landlord Onboard valued at $1,497. And the ROI Machine Training, which is extremely valuable, as I talked about earlier, valued at $2,497. Total value of $11,985. But you can get started today for $997, or we have a payment plan option where you can literally, for today, you can get started for $597. And then in 1 month, you get charged again. So it's a 2 payment plan, okay? So if you guys have questions, start putting in the chat box, and I'll get to QA in a second. Now, there are 2 more special bonuses. Now, these special bonuses, there is a catch for these bonuses, okay? These bonuses that I'm about to introduce are for people who purchase before the training ends right now, okay? So again, these special bonuses I'm about to introduce are for people who purchase within probably the next 15 minutes before this training ends, okay? First one is the fast action bonus, okay? Number 1 is access to my Superhost Heroes, your personal concierge team. Remember how I told you about my Superhost Heroes? Well, here's the thing. If you're thinking about starting your Airbnb and you want to automate it right from the beginning, right? You don't have to deal with guest communications and inquiries. You want to focus on getting properties and making more money, right? When I first started, I would get notifications from guests asking things like, where's the wine glasses? You know, how do I turn on the TV? I soon realized I need to automate all of this. That's why I created this team, okay? So my Superhost Hero team is made up of former Airbnb case managers. They're Airbnb experts. It took me months to put this team together and find the right people. It took me dozens of hours to train them. You can skip all of that. You have access to my team. You can hire them, start working with you directly. They're extremely cheap. The cheapest you're going to find out there. No training needed, no trial and error, no wasted time, no wasted money searching for people, okay? Everything you need right from the start. You just piggyback off of where I left off, okay? Fast action bonus number 2, again, guys, you have to purchase the course before it ends in order to get these fast action bonuses. Fast action bonus number 2 is professional partnering formula. Now I talked about one model, okay? I talked about how you can lease properties from landlords, but there are multiple ways to make this business work. What if I told you there was a way to do this without ever leasing the property? What if I told you there was a way to do this without ever investing a dime into the property, with 0 risk on your end, while making more money for the landlord than ever before, and all just having straight profit into your pockets? You'd be like, well, that sounds interesting. Well, some of you might be thinking, I would love to get started with this Airbnb business, but I don't have the capital to start renting a property. I don't have the capital to stage a property. I wish there was a way for me to get started today with 0 costs on the property. So the professional partnering formula teaches you exactly that. It teaches you how to create a partnership with landlords so that you can start making money on Airbnb without leasing a property. You just create and manage the Airbnb listing. You get a percentage of the revenue. You don't invest a dime. The landlord makes more money than they ever did before. And it's really a win-win for everybody. Does that sound pretty cool? Are you guys getting this? Who wants something like that? Who wants to learn how to do that? So again, guys, the professional partnering formula is going to teach you all of this, okay? And everything in the course is still the same. You're still automating the property. You're still maximizing the revenue. Just the agreement is changing with the landlord. That's it, okay? I'm going to show you how to change the agreement with the landlord so that you don't have to lease the property. No lease is required. Zero startup capital needed on the property. No need to furnish the properties, and 100% profit, no expenses. It's an amazing model, and I do both of them. So I wanted to teach you guys that. I wanted to throw it in as a fast action bonus, okay? All right, so I'm going to jump into Q&A now. Again, guys, if you want to get started, then go ahead and jump over to mikexave.com/enroll. Now, the 10K Club, that private group coaching program, is only, for the first 10 people who join, okay? I can literally only have a certain amount of time I can dedicate to students, so I can't have too many people in the program, so it's got to be the most committed people. That's who I want to work with. That's who get into the program. So again, it's the first 10 people who join get access to the 10K Club. Then there's a cutoff, okay? So if you're interested in joining the 10K Club and getting into this program while you can, before the price rises and before the bonuses disappear, okay, then get in right now. There's a button. You can click it to take you to the page, or you can go to mikexave.com/enroll and access right now. And I think we still have spots open for the 10K Club. We do have a couple of spots left for the 10K Club, so you can get in there. So I'm going to answer some questions. This is basically what it looks like, notifications on your phone. This is what a calendar looks like on your phone. You can see actually all this was in one day, which is pretty freaking cool. All these bookings came in on the same day. It was $4,764 in bookings. But this is what it looks like, okay? Now, again, guys, you're going to get all these bonuses. I'll try to run through some questions here as quickly as I can. Okay, somebody asked, my vacation spot is northern New York State, summer season only. How do I handle that? Well, one thing you could do, well, the first step, honestly, is to make that profit, find the profit centers and determine your profitability for the entire year. Okay, and I teach you how to do that through the treasure map strategy. We'll be able to see exactly how much money you're going to make throughout the year. It's pretty incredible how much money you can make on Airbnb, even during the off seasons. So, and it's insane what you can make on the on seasons. So, especially in a seasonal place like that. So, what I would do is build the treasure map. You'll see exactly month by month what you'll make if you're in the 50th percentile, 75th percentile, 95th percentile. We get all the data, and then we can say, okay, each month this is what I expect. And it's crazy, but I've been able to project my revenue and hit it almost exactly or exceed it in all my listings, which is amazing. But the point is, we'll be able to project your entire revenue and say, okay, this is how much you're going to make on the year. So even during the low seasons, even if you're making a little bit less, I mean, you're still profit. I'm sure you're still going to be profitable, but you know how to budget yourself. So that's the key. It's like, see how much you're going to make on the on season, then we budget throughout the year. Okay, somebody asked, how do I put e-lock or nest on a rental? Oh, that's super easy. You can get a handyman to do that, or you can do it yourself. That's but you know, you can, like I said, you can get a handyman to do all that. We have our properties outfitted with lots of different technologies, but again, they're super easy to install. Okay, just running through some of these questions here. Again, guys, just put your questions in while we have some time left. Some people ask, how do I get started with a little capital? One of the best ways to get started, if you have little capital, is with the professional partnering formula, okay? Get it now, get in now, because you're gonna want that bonus, okay? It's gonna teach you how to basically start without renting properties out by creating a partnership with the landlord, okay? So you split revenues, different model, but still the same processes. You're still gonna learn how to host on Airbnb, automate the process, maximize the revenue, same exact thing, just the agreement's changing, okay? You could also start with like a 1-bedroom, okay? Or a studio. You can start small, right? If you're still bringing in $800, $1,000, $1,500 a month, that's great. I'll take that, right? And you can use that, reinvest in the bigger properties, and eventually get to your high-end properties, which is kind of how I did it, right? I worked my way up. Okay, somebody asked, what about San Antonio, Texas? Can money be made here? I think San Antonio, Texas is a great spot. I don't know every single city off the top of my head, but I think that's a great spot. The best thing you can do, guys, is get in the course while it's at this price, do the analysis, go through the modules with me, okay? And you'll see exactly how much you're gonna make in your area, okay? And again, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, no risk. If you're like, hey, this isn't gonna work out for me, no big deal. At least you did the analysis, you took action, okay? So if you're not sure, get in the course now while you can. take action on steps 1 and 2, you'll have all the information you need. And again, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. Okay, do you ever buy once you have money so you can build assets? Firefighter 2044. Absolutely. Okay, that's a great question. He says, do you ever buy properties and so you have money, once you have money, so you can start building assets? So there are 3 stages to this process. The first stage is to use the professional partnering formula to partner with landlords, okay? So it doesn't have any cost to you. You start building some revenue. Then you can move into the rental model. If you guys have enough capital just to move straight into rental model, I recommend it because that's where a lot of the, it's the most lucrative model, right? You can get started right away, start generating a lot of cash flow like you saw earlier with my case studies. Then once you've got multiple listings, you're building a lot of you're making a lot of cash flow. You can actually take that cash flow and start investing in properties, building equity, okay? So instead of going wide, now you're going deep, right? So there's like a 3-stage process. Depends where you want to start. You could just go straight for buying properties if you have the capital to do that. I have a student in the course that literally just bought a property. He's about to invest. He's going to put on Airbnb in the next couple of weeks. I just had a call with him. He's ready to go. I'm really, it's awesome to see him make progress. He's so excited. And then he's going to start doing the leasing model to get more cash flow. And then you can buy, you can lease. So definitely changes on your situation. But there are multiple stages, so you can choose whatever's best for you. Okay, someone says, how would the landlord let you change the lock? So this is important. It's in the landlord on board. I talk about specifically what I write in my lease addendum to allow me to change the lock, okay? There's a specific phrasing. Basically what I tell them is that I just let them know that they're gonna be, I'm gonna be changing the lock, okay? And I even go as far as I say, I'm gonna ship you a physical key, okay? So you're gonna have a key to the property, all right? So, and like the way I language that in the addendum is all in the landlord on board section, okay? So that was a good question. But I do make sure the landlord has a key and they allow us to change it. Landlords don't like modifications. E-lock or nest may upset them. So I just covered the E-lock thing and the nest. One thing, honestly, if you say, hey, I'm going to put a nest in your property and you can keep it when I'm done, he's going to be like, okay. One thing that we do to get landlords more incentivized to really show them that, hey, we're here to take care of your property. So I say, hey, I'm going to repaint the living room, or hey, I'm going to repaint these 2 rooms. And I create a deal with them, like, hey, you redo the carpet, I'm going to do the painting, I'm going to clean up this. And they're like, whoa, this guy's coming in here, he's renovating my property, basically. He's doing these minor renovations. He's making this place look really nice. I definitely want to lease out. Why would I lease out to some college student when I can have him who's going to not only take care of the place, he's going to have professional cleaners in here 2 or 3 times a week. This place is going to be taken care of like spick and span. It's going to be spick and span all the time, you know? So then it really starts getting in their head, wow, okay, this guy's the right person to work with. So they'll allow you to make modifications, you know, once they realize it's worth working with you. Okay, so someone says, does a partnering program let you get around Airbnb regulations? So technically, if you're a partner, now don't quote me on this, but if you're a partner and you're just a property manager, you know, the owner could be doing whatever they're doing. It's none of your business. You're just being hired to be a property manager. Obviously, if the owner doesn't know and you do know that there are regulations, you're obligated to let them know about the regulations. It's in your best interest to always, like I said, step number 1, find out where the regulations are and do go in areas where there aren't. But I don't want to. I'm not a lawyer, but the point is, if you don't own the property and you're just managing it, then you're just managing it. How do you find local regulations? So in the course, I talk about how to find regulations. There's an entire section on it, and I go into that in detail. So it's really simple process. It's three stages to it, but again, that's all completely covered in the course. Okay, so the landlord, how often? Someone asked, so I think, how do the landlords get paid and how often? Okay, so the landlord, if you set up the regular rental agreement, the landlord will get paid just like you're a regular tenant. Okay, you say, hey, I'm signing the lease as a regular tenant. Okay, there's an addendum, but I'm going to pay you a flat rate every month. That's simple. Okay, so that's how they get paid. If you're doing the partner program, then how it works is it's just a percentage of the revenue which you would split either at the point of sale, like when the guest stays, or at the end of the month, however you set up the agreement with the landlord. Someone says, how does the landlord get paid and how? Okay, I'll just answer that question. I thought a rental can't be rented out. So what we do, there's something specifically that we do with the subletting clause, okay? And we basically make sure the subletting clause is not a factor. Okay, and the landlord agrees about that. Okay, so again, someone says, I thought the rental can't be rented out. Again, we modify the lease. I talk about that in the course so that it is allowed. The landlord knows it's completely legal. There's an addendum that explains everything. Okay. Did you say a 30-day money back? Yeah, there's a 30-day money back guarantee, guys. Okay, so if you're interested, get in the course while you can before the price goes up. Okay, and before the bonuses expire. Okay, you want to get in right now. Airbnb is mostly for vacations. Airbnb is mostly for people who are business travelers. It's totally different in each market, but it could be for business travelers, it could be leisure, family guests. You know, there are a lot of different reasons why people come to cities, right? But most of the time it's for some kind of vacation. But you'd be surprised. Make the profitability, do the profitability calculations, make the treasure map, and you'll see exactly what the monthly revenue is, what the yearly revenue is in every single part of your city. And you'll be so surprised how really the seasonality is not a huge factor because you can make so much money on certain seasons. Obviously, it depends on your market. Some markets are completely steady all across the year. Okay. Do you buy furnishings or rent? So what I do is I normally, at this point, I buy furniture, okay, because it's more lucrative. However, another process that you can do, guys, if you want to get started with little capital, is just find furnished properties. So simple, okay? If you want to get started with a leasing model, just find a furnished property. You literally, on day one, you go in there, you take professional pictures, you can put it on Airbnb, like immediately. It's crazy how fast you get started. Honestly, the best scenario is you find a furnished property with a landlord that allows you to go month to month. That's your best case scenario, because then you don't have to invest in any furniture. If you're not happy with the results, you can back out at any moment. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay. I'm going to keep moving here. Guys, keep putting your questions in the chat box. Again, if you want to get started right now before the bonuses end, okay, especially if you want to take advantage of my Superhost heroes, and if you want to take advantage of the professional partner formula. And someone says, do you still remodel furnish for best pictures? Yeah, absolutely. I would go in. It obviously depends on your budget, but I would take the time to maybe just put some nice pictures up, do all those little like aesthetic things that really don't cost a lot of money, right? Like I mentioned earlier, put the throw blanket, have a nice comforter, declutter the place, obviously. But that's very cheap, right? That's really cheap. And I talk about how to do that in the course. There's an entire section I spent 5 hours like going through a case study. I didn't record all the 5 hours because I wanted to cut it and make it as clear and simple for you guys. But the point is, I go in detail about how to make your listing look beautiful. And I show you step by step how to do the title, the pictures, the listing description, everything. I literally do like a case study. So it's really cool. I show you my design tips. Everything you need to know, honestly, is in there. Okay. Okay, so somebody says, I live in a home with one room, and I have another room that I think you're saying like you can Airbnb out one of the other rooms. Hey, that's a great way to get started. Learn how to use Airbnb by, if it's allowed, just Airbnb one of your other rooms. You can start making a lot of money really quickly, and that's something you could do tomorrow, guys. Get in the course, learn how to make your listing look beautiful. You can if you have a spare room, the course will pay for itself in just a couple of days, right? If you have a spare room, jump on this right now. Okay, because it's one of the easiest ways to get started. Okay, you don't have to do that forever, obviously, but you can build up some capital, so then you can go and do the leasing model. You can build up some capital to start investing it, right? But that's the easiest way, honestly. If you have a spare room, you can start making money tomorrow. All right, guys. Sometimes people ask, what if guests do damage to the property? And listen to this, okay? Because this is a crazy statistic. In 2015, the percentage of bookings that resulted in more than $1,000 worth of damage was 0.002%. Okay, that's an Airbnb statistic. Okay, so it's literally 1 in every 50,000 stays. Okay, you wouldn't reach 50,000 stays unless you had 10 Airbnbs for 50 years. It's pretty crazy. On top of this, Airbnb has a $1 million hosting guarantee policy, and on top of that, we have short-term rentals insurance as well, so we're fully covered. And last but not least, we always focus on charging a premium because that attracts premium guests. Okay, so if you follow these steps, that is not a problem. Now, guys, Warren Buffett always says the best investment you can make is in yourself. So somebody asked, does renter's insurance cover damage? Yep, renter's insurance covers damage. Depends obviously on the renter's insurance that you get. You can get more coverage, less coverage. Also, Airbnb has a $1 million host guarantee that covers damage as well. All right, guys, again, I'm only allowing the first 10 people to join to get access to the 10K club. I think, yeah, we still have a couple more spots for the 10K club, okay? So we want to get in now before the bonuses end, before the price jumps back up, okay? And remember, guys, this is a shortcut, okay? This process, going through this program, is a shortcut, okay? Remember, time only goes away. Time is our most valuable asset. You can never get back more time. So shortcut this process and jump in this program with you. Let me see if you guys have any other questions. Just running through. Someone asked, can I Airbnb my Hilton share, my Hilton or Marriott? I don't know if you can do that, to be honest. I don't think you can do that. All right. You guys know Tim Ferriss. He says, if we define risk as a likelihood of irreversible negative outcomes, inaction is the greatest risk of all, okay? So guys, if you want to be successful, if you want to become financially free, you got to be willing to take risks. Okay? Successful people take risks, right? But the truth is, guys, today, you don't even have to take a risk. Okay, today you're kind of like the training wheels are on, because the truth is there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You're going to return the program, so there is no negative outcome here. Get in the program while you can before the price jumps back up. Again, guys, you can click the button on the side of the screen, or you can go to mikexave.com/enroll if you want to get in the course. Okay, awesome, guys. So if you have any, let me just run through these questions. I know there's a lot of questions in here. I'm doing my best to kind of skim through them. All right, guys, real quick, let me give you a quick analogy. Imagine a race, all right? A race between a kayaker and a speedboat. All right, thinking like, what do you mean? All right, well, check this out. Imagine the race was from point A to point B, okay? And this is a screenshot of a map of the Hawaiian Islands, and I was just there, so kind of inspired by that. But the point is, it's a race between a kayaker and a speedboat from point A to point B, okay? Now, who do you think is going to win? You're probably like, what do you mean, Mike? Obviously, the speedboat's going to win every single time. But here's the catch, guys. What if the person in the speedboat didn't know where the destination was? They didn't know where point B was. And in fact, they didn't even know there was a race. What would they do? Well, they would go really fast, yeah. They would travel all over the place, but they wouldn't end up at the destination. They wouldn't end up at point B, right? Whereas the kayaker knows exactly where point B is. They have a GPS, they have a map, they have all the tools they need. Eventually, they're going to end up at their destination. It's going to be a long process, okay? It might have took a lot of time and energy, but they're going to end up there. So what does this tell us? Okay, this is a critical mindset. It tells us that having a vision, okay, of where you want to go is more important than anything else. More important than skill set, more important than intelligence. It's even more important than hard work. You need to know where you're going, and you need to commit to that. If you do that, then it's simply a matter of time before you get there. Is that clicking? But obviously, after you've decided on your destination, the kayak isn't the most efficient way to get there. So my question is, what's your vision? What's your future look like? Are you ready to be financially free? Are you ready to commit to your financial future? If you're still here, then the answer is obvious. The answer is yes. Everyone here is committed. I believe if you're still here, then you've already proven that you know what you want. You want a life of financial abundance and financial freedom. You have a destination in mind. You can see it. You can see the life you want and the life you deserve. If you're still here, then you're the type of person that will achieve financial freedom. You're gonna achieve your financial goals. The question is when. And when are you gonna do it, and how long is it gonna take to get there? I believe if you're still here, then you're gonna start a business, probably an Airbnb business, with or without me. I believe that you can make this happen. But the question is, do you wanna take a kayak? In the course, I teach you that it is best to register as a business. I teach you how to do that. I show you how to set up all the tools you need. I show you how to get your business card, your website, All those things, those are resources I give you in the course, okay? Now it's recommended that you register as a business because this way you can have like a separate, you can kind of separate your incomes. If you have a, obviously a personal employment income, this way you can have a business income, which means you can deduct a lot of things, right? Like my trip to Hawaii, I was staying in Airbnbs. So I was able to deduct that because I was studying different Airbnbs, right? The point is you're going to want a separate business account because it's going to be a lot of tax benefits, as well as you can sign leases under your business name, right? Which is extremely valuable. Someone says, how much is your net profit on $2,000 a week after expenses? On $2,000 a week. I'm not sure exactly what your question is. Are you saying like you make $8,000 a month with that rental? Obviously, it depends on the rental price, it depends on the utilities. But again, guys, to calculate all of your expenses, the exact profit that you're going to make, it's inside the course. There's a profitability calculator. It shows you how to find your golden rentals, and it shows you exactly how to calculate month by month from each percentile, 50th percentile, 75th percentile, 95th percentile, how to calculate exactly how much you're going to make each and every single month. Average monthly, average yearly, gives you all that. It shows you every single expense that you should be adding in, calculates all of that, okay? So definitely check that out. All right, guys, we're going to close up here. We got a few more questions, and we'll wrap it up. Real quick, I want you to think about how does success work, okay? Because for me, success is kind of like this. Imagine you're to walk on a path, and every single mile that you walk on that path, you made $1,000. You'd probably be like, awesome, I'll take that any day of the week. But what if I said, okay, cool, but here's what the path looks like. You see, the first mile is straight up. It's the hardest mile. The second mile is a little bit easier. The third, not so bad. The fourth, a lot easier. Eventually, it's pretty flat ground, and it's an easy walk. And even better, eventually, the walk is downhill, and it's almost like success is inevitable. You see, 99% of people stop 3/4 of the way through the first mile. They get tired of climbing. They haven't seen any results. It's the 1% of people that can stick through that first mile who get success. But here's the thing. When you take this course and you follow the proven blueprint and you work with me, it's kind of like this mountain turns into a little hill. So what would that be worth to you? So if you think that would be worth it, then head over to mikexave.com/enroll, because the truth is, when you take this course, it's kind of like that first hill isn't so tough. In fact, it's pretty easy, right? And from there on, you gain your own momentum and you start to snowball, and success happens on its own. See, my role and what this course does for you is turn a mountain into a little hill so you can get through that first mile quickly and start seeing results as soon as possible. So what would that be worth to you? All right, so again, if you go and you purchase the course now, you'll get access to all the bonuses. You'll lock in this price. You'll get access to the 10K club, okay? We can set up a strategy call. All you have to do is enroll right now before the webinar ends. You'll get access to all of the trainings immediately. The only trainings, there are going to be some additional trainings that are coming in that I'll be adding on a weekly basis. Again, so if you can do this even if you have a full-time job, guys. You can do this on the weekends. I got started doing this on the weekends. We talked about how we could automate this and how you don't have to own any property to make it work. We covered in detail how you can be successful with these strategies. We covered the core principles of modeling success. So at this point, you have enough information. You get it. You see the opportunity. It's time for you to seize the opportunity and take action. It's kind of like that moment where I was like looking at the numbers and I'm like, man, this makes sense. I gotta take action. I gotta commit. I gotta put my chips on the table. See, there's planning, there's learning, there's knowledge, and then there's executing. There's action taking, there's doing. So right now you have the knowledge. You know what the next step is. It's time for you to take action. Make your move and let's start working together. Take a look back at that number that you wrote down earlier on in this presentation. What was that number? How much do you want to earn on Airbnb each month? If you were making that much on Airbnb, how long would it take to completely pay off the course? Maybe if you want to make $1,000 a month, well, the course will pay for itself in a month. Maybe you want to make $4,000 a month, or maybe a lot more than that. But think about it. Maybe this course could pay for itself in just one booking, like my very first booking, right? What would your life be like if you were making that much money on Airbnb? What would you do? Would you travel? Would you quit your job? Maybe you just use that extra money to pay off your mortgage, cover the bills, whatever it is. Just think about how this could change your life. So, all right, guys, the clock is ticking. If you want to make this happen, you need to act now. I'll do 1 or 2 questions, and then we're going to close up shop, and the bonuses are going to expire. Just run through. I have my team trying to mark off these questions so I can see them. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. I'm glad you guys were able to work through that. Again, guys, if you have any other questions, just put them in the chat box. If not, we're going to close up here. So to kind of recap, you're going to get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, okay? The B&B Toolbox, okay? The B&B Toolbox contains all the tools you're going to need for the profitability calculator, for the cleaning crew, for the reviews, all the scripts that you're going to need, all the automated messages. It includes all the supply lists, basically every possible thing you can think of. It's in the B&B Toolbox that you're going to need, okay? It shortcuts the process by, oh my gosh, hundreds of hours. Then you're going to get the treasure map breakdown series. Okay, you're going to see over the shoulder how I break down the treasure map strategy. Okay, then you're going to get the landlord on board, which is going to teach you the exact script to say. It's going to give you the tools that you need. It's going to give you scripts to give to the landlord. It's going to give you pages. It's going to give you business cards. Everything you need. It's going to be to close the deal. It's going to be in the landlord on board training. Okay. Also, that includes how to deal with the restrictive leases. Everything you need to know about leases is in there. Okay. Last but not least, the ROI machine. ROI machine is going to teach you pricing and calendar, okay? How to charge the most and how to get maximum occupancy, which means how to basically get people in your property every single day of the week, right? That's what you want to know, okay? So it's going to teach you how to get the most money out of your Airbnb. Most people don't know this. Most hosts don't know this at all. It took me a long time to find these strategies, but I really dug deep into all the books, all the articles. You can skip that process and basically just shortcut all that and be successful from the very beginning, okay? There are the 2 fast action bonuses, okay? Fast action bonus number 1 is working with my concierge team, okay? You get to hire my personal concierge team. They're extremely cheap, cheapest you're gonna ever find, and you'll be able to get started automating your property from day 1. And then, of course, there's the professional partner formula, okay? And that's gonna teach you how to do this entire process without leasing a property, okay? That's by partnering with the landlord, okay? And that's by basically setting up an agreement. The rest of the course stays the same. You're still managing. You're still automating the property. You're still maximizing the revenue, but it's just the agreement is changing so that you don't have to pay any lease. You don't have to pay any expenses down, right? You can just get profit. It's just profit into your pocket every single month. Okay, I'm going to close up here in a second. Okay, so one thing someone says, if the rules change in I think regulations, do I just rent until the lease expires? So what you can do, and I recommend doing this, is setting up the lease in a way so you can actually have a clause that says, if the rules change, then I can end the agreement, or you can do early termination clause, which is what I normally do. I try to have the early termination length as short as possible. Let's say if I decide to terminate the agreement, then it's just 1 month's rent I have to pay. Or you can even, like I said, here's the thing, everything is negotiable, okay? Everything is negotiable. So you can say if the law changed, then we're allowed to terminate the agreement. Just add that in the clause. But like I said, it's very important to be agile. At least have the early termination agreement in there, and I talk about how to do that in the course. Okay. Cool. So awesome, guys. So I appreciate the great questions today. If you have any more questions, go ahead and you can shoot me an email. Okay, just respond to the emails that I've been sending out. Or you can message me on my Facebook Messenger. Now, I get a lot of Facebook messages, but I'll try my best to respond. Okay, that is a great way to reach out to me, or someone from my team will answer your questions. Again, guys, the fast action bonuses are ending. So I'll give you another minute. If you want to get in the course, now is your time to do it, because the prices will be rising. The bonuses will be disappearing, right? So we're going to close up shop just a minute here. Again, guys, thanks so much for the great questions. I love interacting with you. I love interacting with my students. Going to pull up the membership site, but I don't have it open right now. Again, guys, this is what a calendar looks like. Okay, this is what you can see each booking for. You can see the prices that they paid. You see this person paid $2,100 for 3 days. You can see this person paid $2,200 for 3 days. Someone said, I'm super excited, trying to convince my husband, the engineer. Yeah, tell him I'm an engineer too. He's going to love my process. And tell him that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. But yeah, so there's no risk to join. Your best bet is to join right now. Okay, your only risk is not joining right now because the price is going to be going up, and that bonuses, you're going to lose the bonuses. So again, there's a guarantee. There's no risk. Join right now. Again, guys, you can see this person paid for 3 days, $500, another $500 stay. This person paid $2,700 for 3 nights. You're starting to see how aggressive I am in changing my strategy, right? You can see here, this person's paying so much money because I knew that I could charge a lot for that night because I use the strategies that I teach in the ROI machine. Okay, I was studying the supply and demand. I knew I could charge that much. Whereas these nights, I knew I had to charge a little bit less, right? So it's like a game of understanding supply and demand, and I teach you how to play it and how to make the most money, right? So guys, thanks so much for being on here. I'm going to close this out. If you have any other questions, go ahead and message me on my Facebook Messenger or just reply to my emails. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun, and I'll see you soon.